Well, for the first time in a long time, a comedy movie has come to theaters. And a funny one at that. Naked Gun, The Naked Gun, 2025, directed by Akiva Schaffer of The Lonely Island, starring Liam Neeson. Gunnar, what is the plot of The Naked Gun?
The Naked Gun is a slapstick comedy movie with virtually no plot most of the time. But what level of plot they have is evil businessman wants to make everybody go back to their primal instincts with a plot device, MacGuffin, literally called the plot device, and then and Liam Neeson's a corrupt cop basically, but everyone loves him for it, and that's the joke. Yeah. And then the plot of every cop / spy movie of the last 20 years progresses in the background of Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson doing shtick for 75 minutes, and then it ends. So Aiden, what did you think of The Naked Gun 2025 edition?
It's good. It's funny. It's really funny. It's kind of hard to talk about a good comedy because really all you can say is it's funny and recount jokes from it. But it is very in the classic style of the original Naked Gun movies. Lots of silly sight gags and dumb jokes. Liam Neeson is very well utilized as the very monotone, serious man who says really stupid things. Pamela Anderson and him have some fun chemistry. And it's funny. I laughed a lot. Pretty much every joke is stupid in a good way. It really recaptures the feel of those original movies in a way that I thought movies wouldn't ever really go back to. Yeah. I don't honestly have a ton to say. It is 70 minutes, which is incredible. I mean, it's like 85, but once you take out the credits, it's like maybe 78. It feels incredible to just go in and get out of a movie for once. And every minute of it is enjoyable. It's fun all the way through. There's so many little gags. Liam Neeson is incredibly well utilized and just perfect as the goofy straight man. Very impressed, laughed a lot. Not much to say beyond that, frankly. Connor, what'd you think of The Naked Gun? Again.
I liked The Naked Gun as well. Comedies are typically reserved for Netflix and have gotten even dumber. On top of that, I feel like, you kind of had this brand of movie that went extinct when it really started getting beat to death with like the movie era, epic movie, superhero movie, 5 scary movies with like 2 being okay and the rest being trash.
Yeah.
Et cetera, et cetera. There's a million examples. But this really goes back to, for a while, in like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, there was a bit of this progression of like slapstick that moved beyond to like it goes back to like Buster Keaton and the Three Stooges slapstick with a very slight story.
Yep.
Although they kept modernizing it until eventually you got like Airplane and, Scary Movie, the Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles and stuff like that. Nowadays, for some reason, and I think part of it is the reputation of this genre, especially the slapstick side of it and like the Adam Sandler side of it, is like critically, you couldn't get much acclaim for it. Theaters didn't want to pay for it anymore, especially because it just took up spots from Marvel movies, which make infinitely more money because they have endless appeal. But you also have movies, well, yes, but even like, comedy movies are now replaced with like Marvel has comedy elements, but are mostly action movies. And there's there's
and there's
horror comedy movies and blah blah blah. But comedy's always the subgenre, or like the co-genre, the smaller co-genre.
Even like most Netflix comedies aren't much of comedies. They're just like movies where
even Happy Gilmore was
sarcastic.
It was a sports movie with comedy on the side. It wasn't until the third act that it started throwing in some like comic absurdism. More or less just Rocky with golf. Rocky 6 with golf is what the new Happy Gilmore was. But it's nice to see these off of Netflix. Liam Neeson was a good choice to replace Leslie Nielsen, who had a similar career where he was just doing endless like cop dramas and blah 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 that weren't that big or important, and then kind of reinvented their career. I don't know if Liam Neeson's gonna swerve and veer the same way Leslie Nielsen did, but it was a good choice, and there's a lot of good meta jokes, and like the movie was just being stupid, and part of it might just be that it's refreshing because this genre, at least on the big screen with budget and people who care that aren't meant to boost Netflix's weekend numbers, this was like an actual movie.
I mean, even Netflix doesn't really make comedies like this. They make like
right.
I don't know, like some woman from SNL is on screen and farts, and then it's just like a fucking drama about some girl learning to love herself or something.
Right. No, that's true. I mean, this is just a dead genre. Akiva from Lonely Island, his last couple movies were Netflix exclusives after Pop Stars flop, but they allowed him to try again. I mean, he's great, especially if you look at just his like big theatrical work. You got Pop Star, which is just modernized Spinal Tap and very good, and you have Hot Rod, which is an amazing movie. So the fact that this worked as well is not that surprising.
Yep.
Pamela Anderson was also pretty good. That was a good idea. Plus, you don't have like a horribly age inappropriate muse for Liam Neeson. I know that's something that movies are more conscious of now. It's not like the Roger Moore Bond days where he's like, "You turned 18 yesterday? You're younger than my granddaughter." And he's fondling her out, and it's weird. It makes you slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I think she was good. I mean, there's kind of just a joke, and there's just like an inherent pop culture osmosis of like Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson are both famous. They both occasionally do projects, and they're both fucking washed. And I think that was kind of smart. It was a smart angle to approach this movie, honestly. I don't know, but they were good in it. And like the Tech Billionaire, there's a lot of like parody of like Mission Impossible, the recent Dead Reckoning ones, and Rogue Nation, that kind of stuff. And I mean, it's the plot's good fun. Liam Neeson, I mean, I think there are a couple jokes that are kind of cringe-inducing, but the fact that there's like a 70% success rate in a movie that drops 8 jokes a minute just means like if there's ever a joke you didn't find funny, you're probably already laughing by the time you have a chance to think about it.
Yep.
Which is good. And
I mean, that's how they did it back in the day. Airplane's the same way.
I think what's ultra interesting is like you hear people laugh in theaters. Hearing people laugh in a movie theater and not just be like dead silent or screaming on their cell phone or something.
There was
cool.
one guy who was really laughing at everything.
Like from this, literally the movie started. Like I don't know if that guy.
The credits were rolling. He was already laughing. He must have been on the good stuff.
He definitely wasn't entirely sober. But like it's weird being in that environment because even like in the 2010s you had kind of that like Judd Apatow style comedy that's all but extinct except occasionally showing up on Netflix. I think the last comedy we watched was Y2K and no one laughed at that movie.
Yeah.
Everyone just thought it sucked, and I forgot it existed until I was digging deep to think of the last comedy we watched.
Y2K is like maybe a third of a comedy. It just stops being that after a little bit.
Yeah, I
It
think
becomes a stupid robot movie.
what we see the most nowadays is like slight chuckles at your newest Marvel movie, or I guess like DC movie or whatever, or Transformers. But
Transformers.
but you don't really
The Pinnacle.
you don't really like, you know, it was nice. It was refreshing. Plus the fact that it wasn't 90 minutes was like, or not even 90 minutes. It's like movies have, especially movies that are theatrical nowadays, feel really self-conscious about not feeling like Netflix movies. Like, but even back in the day, there was direct-to-video movies which were 90 minutes, and like a lot of movies coming to theaters were 90 minutes. But for some reason, the pressure was on to like expand run times, and we complain about this all the time, and I think part of it's just because I'll watch movies and I'm like, this did not need to be 2 hours and 15 minutes long, and in fact it's worse for it overstays its welcome, blah blah blah. And this is one of those movies where like I think if this was 2 hours long and the endless slapstick, I might have started getting a little bored, wanting something else. But this like absurdist movie with that peppers in a light plot behind weird absurdist humor, like Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson going on vacation and making a fucking living snowman they get in a threesome with, is, you know, it's fascinating, it's funny, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. It knows what it is, and the jokes are just really well done. They're good jokes in my opinion. At least I thought it was funny, and
Yeah.
it seemed like the theater was cracking up and having a good time. It's actually got good scores, which is rare for a comedy movie.
Very.
It's shot well enough. I mean, it's a comedy movie, but I mean, it actually feels like it maintains the spirit, and it kind of also just makes a joke of the fact that it's a reboot late sequel thing. I mean, it's technically like a soft reboot, like Jurassic World or Force Awakens or something, but really it's basically just for one joke does it acknowledge that there were other Naked Gun movies, and it's a funny joke, and it's more or less just not important. It could have been written just as easy as a remake or a reimagining or something. It's not relevant. The continuity, there's no strict continuity to this movie. It's just is what it is, and it's easy, and you sit there for 75 minutes and chuckle for a bit, and then you stand up and leave. And that's, I think more movies should be like that. So,
Yeah.
Aiden, would you recommend The Naked Gun?
Big recommend. I'd love to see this style of comedy come back. That is a risk where much less talented people than Akiva Schaffer will overwhelm the market, but even so, you know,
exactly how it would go.
If Akiva Schaffer gets the chance to make another stupid slapstick comedy, I'd be happy. And I guess we don't need this genre to come back, but specifically I want Akiva Schaffer to keep working.
Yeah, let Akiva Schaffer work in movie theaters again.
And Pop Star 2, please. Connor, would you recommend The Naked Gun?
Yeah, I would. This was a good movie, and kind of like you said, I think Akiva Schaffer deserves more work because he's very funny. He's always kind of been the third guy in Lonely Island, but he's also just done a lot of their really solid behind the scenes work was by them, and you know, he might not be the Beyonce like Andy Samberg or the other guy that's not weird looking like Yorn, but he's good at making movies. They're always funny.
He sure is.
They've been consistently funny since he started. And yeah, I would love to see more theatrical projects from him. I also think like just it's a good time for experimentation in the theaters, because I think
the
theaters
Marvel world, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I think Marvel and DC will probably come back in a recontextualized manner. It seems like they're both trying to figure out new ways to survive, and I think in general, this year, 2 of the 3 Marvel movies gave me hope they might turn it around at least a bit, and same with DC, but that's not super relevant. My point is, I think the theater landscape is really looking to reinvent itself, following like Barbie and Oppenheimer, and
Yeah.
I think seeing more of a variety again could save the theaters because, like, at the end of the day, Transformers might not technically be considered a spandex superhero movie, but it's all the same shit. It's all the same shit at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see something different, and it's not a drama, it's not a horror movie. Blumhouse worked their own style to death and are having financial problems just like Marvel and DC, and it's nice to see something different. And I also think I hope to see more work from Akiva Schaffer. I don't hate the slapstick genre, assuming that it's a good idea or funny people behind it. It doesn't really got to be that good of an idea. There's nothing too special about the idea of this movie. It's just
you just need
funny people were behind it.
You just need Akiva Schaffer, or the guys who did Airplane, the Zappa brothers or whatever their name.
I like
Not
those
Zappa.
dudes that made 21 Jump Street in the Lego Movie.
Yep.
And Spider-Verse.
Lord and Miller.
They could go back to it. They could go back and do another comedy.
The Wayans
After
brothers for
Spider-Verse.
exactly Scary Movie 1 and 2.
Well, they're coming back for. Well, I think we'll really get the stress test for this genre because I'm pretty sure
Scary
next
Movie
year or
is
the
coming
following
back,
year
and the
we're
Wayans
getting
brothers
a new.
are back in charge.
Yeah, we're getting Scary Movie. I think they should just call it Scary Movie 3. That would be a good riff on like all the soft reboots.
Yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Just ignore the ones that they were
Do the
involved in.
Halloween thing.
Yeah, do the just to count their 2 movies, but also just call it Scary Movie 3 again or something.
That'd be funny.
There you go. You guys can have that one. No need to pay me. Free. That
Although
one's
if you want
free
to
of
give us
charge.
some money, that'd be great.
I'm sure the Wayans Brothers Scary Movie will be better than the other Scary Movie 2 scary movies.
I mean,
I'm not
can't be worse
expecting
than
the
Scary Movie
stars
5.
from this, but it was fun to see something a little different. That is not that different from a million other movies, but those million other movies happened in the past, and now we don't see this shit anymore, so it was kind of nice. And we like Akiva Schaffer. We want to see him keep working, so...